Something unexpected just happened in the motorcycle world. 7 machines under $2,000 are winning over riders who swore they'd never ride cheap. And the last one on this list? It might be the most dependable ride of the decade. Number 7. Lefan KP Mini 150. There's a certain kind of motorcycle that surprises you, not because of its size, but because of how well it holds the road. The KP Mini does exactly that. Though smaller in stature than the average cruiser, it delivers a riding experience far more mature than expected. This is the kind of machine that demands a second look from seasoned riders who might otherwise overlook it. It is powered by a 149 cubic centimeter engine producing 12 horsepower and 9.5 pound-feet of torque. The braking system consists of hydraulic disc brakes, both front and rear. Suspension is handled by an inverted telescopic fork up front and a rear monoshock. The wet weight is 240 pounds with a seat height of 31 inches. Starting price lands around $1,750, making it one of the most affordable street-legal motorcycles available today. From the saddle, the KP Mini feels solid. While the footprint is compact, it avoids the cramped ergonomics that plague many small displacement bikes. The bars sit upright and neutral. Pegs are mid-set, giving riders of average height a comfortable stance with room to move. It doesn't try to be a cruiser, a sport bike, or a commuter. It simply is what it is. A light, honest motorcycle that puts the fundamentals first. Where the KP Mini shines is in its ride feel. The 5-speed transmission shifts with precision, offering usable gearing whether you're navigating side streets or keeping pace on a country road. The throttle is responsive and the power band feels controlled rather than twitchy. With its lightweight chassis and strong brakes, the whole setup gives you confidence to lean into corners and ride with purpose. Its styling is tight and clean, with steel frame construction and bodywork that holds up to scrutiny. It does not rattle or flex under pressure. What you get is a motorcycle built for real-world use, errands, short commutes, or backroad loops with zero pretense. It lacks the chrome flash or branding of larger bikes, but for many riders, that's exactly the appeal. This is the kind of machine that makes sense in a garage next to something bigger. It does not replace a highway cruiser, but it's the one you reach for when the weather's good and the destination is close. And while it may not carry the torque of a 114, it earns its place through everyday usefulness and easy ownership. If you value a smooth clutch over a screen and real gears over ride modes, the KP Mini might just be the most overlooked bike of the year. The next motorcycle on this list is a throwback in all the right ways. Built for riders who remember when motorcycles were simple, straightforward, and ready for anything. If you're enjoying the ride so far, give this video a thumbs up. It helps more riders like you find it. And drop a comment below to let us know what you're riding or what's in your garage wish list. We read every single one and love hearing from real riders who keep it practical and grounded. Number 6. Bashan Storm 250. The best motorcycles don't shout. They prove themselves mile after mile with nothing but steel and grit. The Storm is that kind of machine. Built with the soul of a standard and the toughness of a dual sport, it brings back the kind of motorcycling many riders thought was gone. It is powered by a 229 cubic centimeter engine that produces 16 horsepower and 15 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed by hydraulic disc brakes both front and rear. Suspension includes conventional telescopic forks in the front and dual coilover shocks in the rear. It carries a wet weight of 285 pounds and has a seat height of 31.5 inches. The starting price is approximately $1,795. This is a motorcycle for riders who learned on bikes that didn't need a screen or a slogan, just fuel and a destination. The Storm is unapologetically mechanical, with a round headlamp steel tank, spoked wheels, and a layout that says utility first. The proportions feel right. You swing a leg over, reach for the bars, and it fits. Though it echoes machines of the 1970s and 80s, it rides like a balanced, modern entry-level standard. The throttle is smooth, the 5-speed gearbox feels familiar, and the clutch is direct. Whether you're running errands or cruising back roads, it stays composed and trustworthy beneath you. One of its strongest traits is how accessible it feels without ever seeming underpowered. The engine has enough low-end torque to move through traffic or climb hills without being wrung out. It isn't trying to compete with larger twins or high-strung sport bikes. It knows its role and performs it well. The cockpit keeps things simple. A single analog speedometer leads the way with clearly labeled switches that are solid and responsive. There are no digital distractions or touchscreen menus, just a machine that starts, rides, and parks without fuss. Styling is all business. It comes in subdued colors, wears minimal plastics, and proudly shows off its engine and frame. The paint is clean, the welds are honest, and it gives off the kind of presence that earns respect. Not by shouting, but by showing up and doing the work. Comfort is another quiet strength. With a seat height just above 31 inches and upright ergonomics, the riding position suits a wide range of riders, especially those looking for a natural fit. It doesn't fold your knees or stretch your arms. It lets you ride the way you want. The Storm is not built for image. It's built to be ridden. Whether it's a commuter, a weekend runner, or a second bike for the garage, it does the job without complaint. It's a modern motorcycle with old-school attitude and everyday strength. The next machine on this list proves that aggressive styling and trail capability don't have to break the bank. It shows how much you can still get when you build for riders, not reviewers. Don't ride cheap and risk it. Gear up smart. We've linked solid, affordable helmets, gloves, and tools we actually trust in the description below. Number 5. RPS Hawk 250DLX. There are motorcycles that ask for attention and ones that demand respect. This one was built to ride tall. The Hawk stands with presence, built for riders who want the stance of a dirt bike and the toughness of a trail machine, without leaving the pavement behind. It runs on a 250 cubic centimeter air-cooled engine that makes 17 horsepower and 16.5 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed with hydraulic disc brakes at both the front and rear. Suspension comes in the form of standard telescopic forks up front and a rear monoshock system. The wet weight is 292 pounds and the seat height is 34 inches. The starting price is approximately $1,900. From the first glance, the Hawk sets itself apart. Long travel suspension, oversized tires, and high fenders give it the look of a full-sized adventure bike. But it's not all show. The frame is solid and the stance is functional. It rides as rugged as it looks, offering confidence on back roads, fire trails, or pothole-strewn city streets. On road or off, it feels purposeful. The 5-speed gearbox delivers smooth shifts, and the gearing strikes a solid balance between low-end grunt and highway cruising. While the engine uses a carburetor, the upgraded ignition system improves cold starts and sharpens response where it counts. This motorcycle is not built for polished showrooms. It's made for unpaved shoulders, country detours, and rural rides where reliability matters more than anything. The dual-purpose tires provide grip on loose terrain, and the suspension offers enough travel to take on uneven surfaces without losing composure. Rider comfort is better than expected for something so trail-focused. The high seat and open ergonomics suit taller riders well, while the extra ground clearance makes off-road navigation less of a gamble. Though heavier than some in its class, the added weight gives it a planted, controlled feel, especially at speed. You also get functional upgrades. The digital dash displays speed, fuel level, engine revolutions, and gear position clearly, without clutter. The layout is modern but restrained, built to serve the rider, not distract. Lighting is capable and the controls feel durable, not delicate. This is a bike for riders who don't care about social media photos or dealership drama. It is the machine you take when the road ends and the job still needs finishing. It's for people who live outside the city limits and want a bike that can handle daily errands and dirt paths without asking for special treatment. Its design makes no apologies. The Hawk is square-jawed and straightforward, with a steel backbone and utilitarian spirit. There's no chrome, no posing, just purpose. And for riders who want torque over tech and strength over style, that's a welcome sight. What makes this bike stand out is its versatility. You can ride it to work all week, then take it up a muddy trail on Sunday. And through all of that, it will keep pulling, climbing, and starting without complaint. The next motorcycle in this lineup is backed by American support, full service availability, and the kind of peace of mind that's almost unheard of in this price range. Number 4. CSCTT250. There's a difference between what looks good on paper and what holds up in real life. The TT leans hard into that second category. It's not flashy, but it's dependable. Built for riders who keep their own tools and ride with purpose, not pretense. It is powered by a 229 cubic centimeter air-cooled engine, delivering 16.1 horsepower and 15.5 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by hydraulic disc brakes on both the front and rear wheels. The front suspension consists of standard telescopic forks, while the rear is supported by a monoshock with adjustable preload. It carries a wet weight of 277 pounds and a seat height of 34 inches. The starting price is approximately $2,195. The TT has built a strong reputation among riders who want simplicity with backup. Unlike most bikes in this category, it's sold and supported by a California-based company with full domestic parts availability and customer service. That means no overseas guesswork, no language barrier, and no months-long wait when something breaks. It wears its purpose on its frame. The styling is minimal, almost military in tone. Square headlamp, high front fender, no fairings, and a cargo rack out back that's more than decoration. It looks like a tool because that's what it is. And the best tools don't need polish to get the job done. The riding position is upright with wide handlebars and a tall seat that gives you full vision ahead. The cockpit is simple, and the digital display covers just the basics: speed, gear, trip meter, and fuel level. You don't have to learn anything to ride it. Just start it, shift, and go. Out on the road, the TT handles better than you'd expect. The 5-speed gearbox shifts smooth and true, the suspension soaks up broken pavement and gravel roads alike, and the power band keeps steady without surging or straining. It's not fast, but it is consistent, and consistency matters when the ride is long or the road gets rough. The real value lies in its reliability. The frame feels sturdy and the overall construction avoids the cheap feel that haunts other imports. It's not a throwaway bike. It's something you can ride for years, service yourself, and still count on when the weather turns or the road disappears. What gives the TT a serious edge is its support. Riders can order parts directly from the U.S. warehouse. That means less time waiting and more time riding. It's a rare feature in this segment, and one that older riders especially will appreciate. The TT doesn't ask for attention. It earns respect. It's not a showpiece or a statement. It's a bike for the man who values work over words and doesn't want to spend 4 figures on a logo. It gets the job done with less. The next motorcycle in this countdown drops the dealer network and leans into raw simplicity. It's the kind of machine you ride when comfort takes a backseat to capability. Number 3. Motoax 200 Cruiser. Some bikes aren't built to turn heads, they're built to take the long way home. The Cruiser leans into that old-school mentality with low-slung comfort, steel construction, and the kind of simple reliability that used to define every American road trip. It runs on a 197 cubic centimeter air-cooled engine that delivers 15 horsepower and 14.2 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by a hydraulic disc brake up front and a mechanical drum brake at the rear. The wet weight comes in at 280 pounds and the seat height is 27.9 inches. The starting price is approximately $1,600. From the moment you swing a leg over, the Cruiser feels familiar. The seat is long and relaxed, the bars pull back into a natural reach, and the exhaust hums with a steady, no-nonsense tone. It's not loud, it's not aggressive, it's just easy. And for plenty of riders, that's exactly what makes it right. The low seat height makes this one of the most approachable bikes on the list, especially for older riders or anyone returning to motorcycling after time away. You get a feet-flat, confident stance that makes low-speed riding and parking feel second nature. Where this bike really shines is comfort. The geometry encourages an upright, laid-back posture, and the suspension, though basic, takes the edge off rough roads. It won't float like a touring cruiser, but it smooths out the ride enough to keep you in the saddle longer than expected. Its design keeps things traditional. Steel fenders, teardrop fuel tank, stepped seat, and a low-mounted exhaust give it an instantly recognizable cruiser silhouette. There's no chrome overload, no exaggerated styling. It's clean, efficient, and undeniably classic. Performance-wise, the 5-speed transmission pairs well with the engine's power band. It's not a highway rocket, but it pulls evenly through the revs and doesn't bog down under normal conditions. For small-town rides, backroad loops, or short commutes, it holds its own without complaint. That simplicity is not a shortcut. It's a return to form. This is the kind of motorcycle that stays in your garage long after the new bikes come and go. It doesn't demand attention, but it shows up every time. For riders who value low maintenance and ease of ownership, it offers a rare kind of freedom. The Cruiser is also well suited as a second bike, something you can take out when the sun's up and the traffic's light. It's not trying to be more than it is, and that honesty makes it a standout. The next motorcycle in this countdown trades comfort for toughness. It's the kind of bike that takes abuse and keeps asking for more. Number 2. Tao Motor TBR7 250. Not every motorcycle is built for comfort. Some are built to survive. The TBR7 is a rough-cut machine made for riders who treat motorcycles like tools. Practical, rugged, and ready to be ridden into the dirt without hesitation. It is powered by a 229 cubic centimeter air-cooled engine that produces 16 horsepower and 15.5 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by a front hydraulic disc and a rear drum brake. Suspension comes from a telescopic fork in the front and dual coilover shocks in the rear. The wet weight is 287 pounds and the seat height is 34 inches. The starting price is approximately $1,895. This bike doesn't care about curb appeal. It's not designed for showroom floors or weekend polishing. It's built to get you from one side of town to the edge of a pasture and back again without breaking down or backing off. The riding position is tall and wide, offering solid leverage for trail maneuvering or daily commuting. The high seat gives commanding visibility and clearance for rocks, ruts, and everything in between. Taller riders especially will appreciate how roomy it feels without being top-heavy. A rare feature for this category is its dual start system, electric start paired with a backup kickstarter. That alone makes it stand out. When batteries fail or weather turns cold, it only takes one good kick to bring it back to life. That's real peace of mind, especially for anyone riding off-grid. In motion, the TBR7 feels grounded. The 5-speed transmission is reliable and smooth, offering good control at both low and mid-range speeds. It's not built for top-end performance, but the torque is there when you need to climb or haul through soft terrain. You don't need to rev it out, it just pulls. The suspension is surprisingly forgiving. The long travel forks and dual shocks eat up uneven surfaces and keep the bike from feeling jittery even when loaded with gear. It's not high-performance tuning, but it does the job, and keeps doing it without constant adjustment. This is a bike made for function. Analog gauges display speed and engine revolutions, and the steel tank keeps things sturdy and honest. A rear cargo rack gives you a place to tie down your gear, water, or tools. Nothing is for show. Everything has a reason. The TBR7 is also easy to maintain. Basic tools and a little time are all you need to keep it running strong. That means fewer trips to the shop, more time on the road, and more control over your ride. It's the kind of machine that rewards riders who know how to turn a wrench. For men who value durability over digital displays and grit over graphics, this bike offers something that's getting harder to find: true mechanical reliability at a price that still makes sense. The next and final motorcycle in this list changes the game completely. With fuel injection, trail-ready geometry, and a build that punches far above its weight, it proves that under $2,000 doesn't mean underbuilt. If you're into bikes built with backbone, not branding, this channel's for you. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a lineup made for riders who wrench, ride, and value the road more than the showroom. Number 1. Lefan Xpect 200. Every once in a while, a motorcycle shows up that quietly outworks the rest. The Xpect is that kind of machine. No gimmicks, no ego, just fuel-injected reliability, usable power, and a frame built to handle the miles without flinching. It is powered by a 197 cubic centimeter engine, producing 14 horsepower and 13.8 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed with a hydraulic disc in the front and a mechanical drum in the rear. The suspension includes a telescopic fork up front and dual adjustable coilover shocks in the rear. It carries a wet weight of 278 pounds and has a seat height of 32.7 inches. The starting price is approximately $1,800. At first glance, the Xpect looks simple, but look closer and you'll see where the value really is. Unlike most bikes in this category, it comes standard with electronic fuel injection. That means cold starts are consistent, throttle response is crisp, and long-term maintenance is simpler and cleaner. For riders who just want to turn the key and go, it's a game changer. On the road, the Xpect is light on its feet but solid in its stance. The weight keeps it nimble, while the longer wheelbase and neutral geometry make it forgiving, even when the road turns rough. The seating position lands right in that sweet spot. Whether you're commuting or exploring rural stretches, it puts you in control without fatigue. Riders of average height will find it accessible, and taller riders won't feel cramped. Durability is one of the Xpect's strongest traits. The frame is reinforced, the welds are clean, and nothing rattles or flexes. It feels like a machine that was built with longevity in mind. A standard rear rack adds utility, making it practical for hauling groceries, tools, or light trail gear. The controls are straightforward. The combination analog-digital dash keeps things focused with readouts for speed, fuel level, and gear position. Nothing more, nothing less. It's clean, direct, and right in line with the bike's no-nonsense identity. And then there's the ride. It's not fast, but it's steady. The 5-speed gearbox moves cleanly through the gears, and the engine's torque feels just right for climbing, cruising, or navigating through town. It's smooth without being soft, responsive without being twitchy. What makes this bike truly special is how much trust it earns over time. It doesn't need constant tuning or aftermarket upgrades to feel complete. It's ready from the factory to be a true daily rider, something you can depend on year after year. The Xpect proves that affordable doesn't have to mean stripped down. It's a reminder that real value comes from what a motorcycle does, not what it claims to be. In a market full of overbuilt, overpriced machines, this one simply shows up and delivers. Every motorcycle in this lineup offers something worth riding. But the Xpect, it just might be the one you keep the longest. Every motorcycle on this list was chosen for one reason. They deliver real value where it matters. No fluff, no showroom gimmicks, just steel, torque, and dependability priced for the working man. Whether you're chasing back roads, commuting on a budget, or adding a second ride to your stable, these bikes prove you don't need to spend $10,000 to ride proud. If this kind of honest motorcycling speaks your language, you're in the right place. We break through the hype, cut straight to what works, and spotlight machines that ride harder than they advertise. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which bike you'd park in your garage. This is where riders stay sharp and ride smarter.